Hello Internet, this is Trial and Effort, and boy, what an effort this is. Most don't know, actually there's only a few friends of mine that I pretty much know about this, but I am an aspiring FNAF fan, Five Nights at Freddy's for those who have no idea what that means, and I have been watching YouTubers like MatPat and Markiplier and a few others that have been covering the lore or playing the games, and I ran across this video and I wrote it down. I wrote down everything that I got from it, and I suddenly had my mind blown. Scott Cawthon is brilliant. He's always doing this. He's always adding some kind of little twitch to the lore, and I swear, he loves to throw us off. He loves to throw MatPat off. He loves to throw anybody else that digs deep into this, and I cannot resist doing some kind of video. I can't. I have my mind blown. This is something I want to share, and I'll be going over it after this, but I thought first, let's watch the video, because it's creepy. But what is important to me are the words, and hopefully I won't have to redo this video again. Hopefully it catches it, but I haven't had a problem with this, so here we go.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Well, Internet, what a revelation. Honestly, I did not know about this cutscene until yesterday. And this blew my mind. Unfortunately, I have a comic that I'm trying to work on, and I try to fit things, and I just realized that now I have to fit sister location and where that is into this. So I have to figure out the whole timeline again, figure out where that has to go. But this cutscene outright scares me because I'm terrified that FNAF isn't over. Actually, I'm half terrified it isn't over, and I'm half terrified of it being over and just left like this. There is so much in this video that just talks volumes to me. There's so many questions that just slam right into my mind. Now, I ended up writing down what he says. He said, Father. So, he's addressing somebody unknown? Or he's obviously he's addressing somebody either unknown or the person we play in sister location. The person we play in as in that game is not Purple Guy, but his son. I don't know. Those are my two theories. He either is Purple Guy and it's his father that has done a bunch of these crimes, because remember what he says. I'll continue with it. I'm going to continue with it first. This is either the father of Purple Guy or it's somebody else. I don't know. But it's, I don't know what to, he addresses father. He says, it's me, Michael. Michael seems to me to be an important name. So we have another character name. I have no idea if this has to do with the book. I read the book. I'm one of the survivors of the FNAF book. And if I remember correctly, I believe Michael was a character in the book that ended up dying, but he was young. So I don't think I'm thinking it's a different character from that. But the Michael rang a bell, and he says, I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. So it's obviously something that was hidden that nobody knew about. And the father of whoever this is, I'm going to assume, I'm not going to, you know what, I'm not going to assume anything. But the father tells his son, this person that we play in sister location, he says, it was right where you said it would be. I found it. He's talking about sister location. I can't argue with that. I think that would be hard to argue with at all. Especially with further things, because it's saying it was right where you said it would be. He's found sister location. He went and found it. And then they were all there. He's talking about animatronics. He's talking about these characters. It says they didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And you was really stressed in a way of importance. If you listen to the voice, you can hear how important it was to stress that when he stressed to you, there's something about this guy's father, and he realizes it. He's saying that these characters, these animatronics, didn't recognize him. And in sister location, remember what quote-unquote baby, or somebody impersonating baby, says, I don't recognize you. You are new. I don't recognize you. You are new. They don't recognize him at first, but they think that this character, the son, was actually his father. So he must have some kind of resemblance or something. Anyways, he says, and I found her. Her is also stressed. It's just like they thought I was you. I found her, and I'm very, very, very sure, because this is about sister location and specifically about baby, I think that's who he's talking about. He's either addressing her as to baby or the child's spirit, which in this case may be his sister. If you think about it, if the way that Pat suggested it is that the family aspect of Purple Guy with the crying child and that girl with the pigtails becoming baby, so it could be either addressing baby herself or the spirit. He's saying, I found her. And then he says, I put her back together, just like you asked me to. So basically what's being hinted out here, as far as I can gather, is that the father, whoever he is, tricked his son into going into sister location and basically had set his son up to be scooped. That's a scary thought. So who's Purple Guy? Is it the father? Is the father Purple Guy, the actual murderer, who tricks his son and gets his own son killed as well. Maybe to get him out of the way? I don't know. But we almost see a repeating pattern. If that is Purple Guy's family, if the crying child and the little girl are part of Purple Guy's family, then he's got another son, most likely, an older son. That's who gets scooped, and Ennard ends up taking over that guy's body. So we've noticed a pattern here. Crying child dies, then the sister dies, and they think that this son is his father. There's so much. My mind is consistently being blown. I'm still. I literally just had thought of this right after I was piecing it together. Then he goes on. He says, she is free now. Obviously, Endo took over his body, but the spirits of these children may be still part of it, but he says she's free now. Then he goes on, but something is wrong with me. I should be dead. Now, I know of another cutscene, and I'm probably not going to address it because that does... It's kind of confusing for me. It really doesn't say a lot to me, but this did. But in it has to do with what looks like Purple Guy. And at the very last one, people are hiding from him. And he suddenly, as much as I can gather, throws up. I don't know what. But he collapses. And over, what is repeated till he stands up again, and you can see the glowing eyes, is what Ennard says. You won't die. You won't die. That's what happens just before this guy is scooped. She says you won't die. But again, this is mind-boggling. So obviously he's the one that's been scooped. He's saying I should be dead, but he's basically Ennard was right in that he wasn't going to die. Because he said something's wrong. I should be dead. I should be. But I'm not. And then he says, I've been living in shadows. So is it Purple Guy that is Springtrap? Or is it his son? Or is the son Purple Guy and he's been framed all along? I don't know. I really have a hard time justifying, as in the other games, the Purple Guy, you already know that he's not right. But something's wrong. There's some twist that Scott has done, and it is so aggravating. I cannot wait for MatPat to pull this out and to give us something. I can't. I am so tense, and my brain will get no rest from this. I swear, until this gets figured out or is put in a more definite thing than what I have right now. But this is my just jump stab at a theory. But then he says, there's only one thing left for me to do now. So there's something, the way he says it is there's only one thing left for me to do now. It's like all the rest of it is done. Whatever he's had to do, there's one thing left, and it's like he's resolving to do something about something, the way he says it. And he says, I'm going to come find you. And then he repeats it, but it's dark. I'm going to come find you. Now, is this Springtrap? I think, honestly, the way it's played out, the way that the lore, at least from the way MatPat describes it, has turned, this is a son that appears to be tricked. Ennard is the cause of the killings. And I don't know what happens to Ennard. It may be because of the fire, especially if you look right here in the what I left here. It's Fazbear's Fright. It's obviously burned out. You can see, look on the walls. You can see either a burn mark or it's just old, but I mean, the rest of the building looks crumbly, and you can see parts of the inside of the building, just the frame. It looks deteriorating and possibly burned. This may be a clue as to a next game, Scott? A next game? I'm going to guess there's going to be a next game. Or you're going to dress this, maybe, in the movie. That would be kind of odd to do. But because of the way Scott has kind of played the little things and like, oh, here's a book. Let's just throw that out there. I really think he is really, really doing some really amazing but aggravating twists. But it sounds like he's managed to survive long enough. This guy's spirit is managed to survive long enough. And he knows that he has to go after his father. That's who he says, I'm going to, when he's talking already to his father, and then at the very end, he says, I'm going to come find you. And second time he says it does not sound like, oh, I'm going to go find my father now and give him a hug because don't know what to do. He sounds almost in a way I could describe the puppet as vengeful. He wants to get back. He knows he has to stop this. And that's as far already as I can go with this without just completely confusing myself and maybe some other people. But the biggest question for me now is who really is the who we know as Purple Guy? Who was the real person? You know, because in the beginning of the sister location, it's William Afton speaking. Afton speaks, and he talks, and it's almost like a news group or some company asking him about these robots. And she can sing, she can dance, she can blow up balloons right at her fingertips. She can even make ice cream. And the guy says, well, those are the functions, I guess you can say, the functions that we were wondering about, Mr. Afton. So you can hear Mr. Afton's voice, but from the way this sounds, you're not playing as Afton. Afton has gotten out of it again. Something's not right. Something is fishy. This guy, Michael, is the one that got scooped. He was tricked by his own father. At least that's my theory. That's what I'm piecing together just from this video. And it's scary. Because now you can kind of look at, if this theory is true, say my theory is true, you can look at Springtrap in a new light. Because it sounds like Ennard, at this point, if this is after Fazbear's Fright, after the burning, and you get that paperclip. If you remember, there's a paperclip, and if you brighten the image in that paperclip with the little tiny Fazbear, I guess it's a bobblehead, you can see Springtrap's face when you brighten it up, and you can see other people that have done it. I've seen it. But it puts Springtrap in a new light. It almost sounds like Ennard's now gone. At that point, something happened, something went wrong, maybe the fire fried his circuits, which would make sense, because that means he's no longer in control. And that would, if that's true, then it would explain something's wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There's only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you. He means I'm going after you because this has got to end. That's my theory. Please leave comments like crazy if you agree, if you have an alternate theory, if you have a theory that doesn't even coincide with mine that you might have picked out that I haven't. Just constructive criticism on the video, obviously. But we gotta solve this, people. It's like a never... Scott has done such a good job. I think you would agree with me. He's done such a good job of making this such a nightmare to try to piece together. And once we think we've got it, he always has a twist. Always. I guaranteed. He's always had a twist. To suddenly, wait, what is this? This doesn't look like it fits, but it does. And there's always been a way that something fits and it works. It's just, it is mind-boggling, people. It is a nightmare to piece together. Scott is clever enough to pull it off. Anyways, thank you. Subscribe if you like it. If you want to see more videos, I will try to keep putting them up. This is brand new for me. Like it. Leave comments, please. I beg you. Leave comments on your thoughts about the theory of what you think something means. And we'll see you in the next video. And take care, everybody. Toodles!